The Jared Dillian Show.
I'm Jared Dillian. This is the Jared Dillian Show. If you want to call to talk about your money, please call 844-305-7800. That's 844-305-7800. This is the Jared Dillian Show, and we are here to talk about your money on the Jared Dillian Show. We're going to talk about Jeff Bezos going to space, although it wasn't really space. I don't want to be like dicing mouse turds here, but like 62 miles above the Earth's surface, it's not space. 200 miles above the Earth's surface is space. He went to the mesosphere. Okay. It's not really space. It is zero gravity. It's not space. I guess close enough. What do we say when something like this happens? He spent a few billion of his own money to go to space. What do we say when something like this happens? We talked about this a bunch of times on the show. We say, good for him. Great. Be happy for him. You know, I saw an interview with him 21 years ago, back in 2000, and he said that one day he wanted to explore space. It's what he wants to do. Great. Started a company, built the company, turned it into one of the best companies in the world, made a ton of money, spend it on whatever you want, you know? All these people, they're like, you could end child hunger with what you spent on going to space. Okay, let's try this in a different context. What if in 1903 at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, you saw Orville and Wilbur Wright flying a plane, and you said, those selfish jerks, what if they use those resources and spend it on people in need? It's a direct parallel. It's a direct parallel because of the efforts of Bezos and Elon Musk and who's the other guy? Richard Branson. Because of their efforts, this is how any new technology works. Anytime you have a new technology, it's for rich people. It's super expensive, and then the cost comes down over time. Pretty soon it's going to be like that movie Passenger, right? Where just like ordinary people are doing interstellar travel. Like that's in our future, you know, but it's baby steps. This is where we start. And I take pains to point out that the U.S. government from 1960 to 1973 spent $600 billion going to space. Jeff Bezos did it for 0.2% of that. That's the thing with private space travel. It's cheaper. It's cheaper and safer and more reliable. Damn NASA blew up 2 frickin' space shuttles, right? They had 4, they blew up 2. You have it's a coin flip if you're going to die in a space shuttle. That's the government, okay? Private sector, safe, reliable space travel. It's going to happen. Amazon is the greatest company in the world. We depend on it. And by the way, if you don't like Amazon, then in order to be intellectually consistent, don't buy anything from Amazon and see how you do. You know? You can't. If you're going to criticize Amazon, you can't buy anything from Amazon. No more. You go to stores. And if the store doesn't have it, then you're just SOL, you know? So this was last week. I take melatonin before I go to bed. I get the melatonin from Amazon. I could get it at Vitamin Shop, but I don't want to drive to Vitamin Shop. I just order it from Amazon. It shows up in a little package. It's $12. It's easy. So I saw that I was running. I had 3 days of melatonin left. So before I went to bed, I went over to my phone, went on the Amazon app, ordered another bottle of melatonin, and then 2 days later, it showed up at my door. It took me 20 seconds to do that. It's astounding. And stuff shows up at your door. And people say this after the pandemic. During the pandemic, we were all relying on Amazon because we could not go outside. You know, this is biting the hand that feeds you, and the human race is a bunch of ungrateful idiots. So I have a phrase for this, okay? If you're going to be successful, just be prepared for people to hate you irrationally because you're successful. This is human nature. We hate the good for being good. And that is evil. So whenever, I mean, if you go on Twitter and you look at all these people like, talking about how, Jeff Bezos launched himself into space, he could have fed all these people, whatever. It's hatred, it's envy. It's bad. I mean, call me up, challenge me on this, right? 844-305-7800. By the way, if Jeff Bezos gave all his money away, all $200 billion, we would still hate him. We would, simply because he is successful, because he is better than us, and we hate things that are good. That's human nature. But we love Mackenzie Scott, his ex-wife. We love her, who did not earn a single dollar of the $64 billion that she has. And she's given away $8 or $9 billion in the last year to 268 different social justice causes. We love her. People treat money differently that they inherited or won in a divorce than they earned. Okay. And I'm going to say some crazy stuff here right now, and I don't care. You know why Jeff Bezos left Mackenzie Scott for Lauren Sanchez? No, it's not what you think. It's not that. It's not that. It's because Lauren Sanchez is better than Mackenzie Scott. What do I mean by better? She believes in the power of the human mind to create good in the world, and she doesn't believe that there should be a limit to anyone's success, and Mackenzie Scott did. That's why they're not married anymore. Okay. So I'm going to say some more crazy stuff. I am married. Okay. So in August, I'll be married for 24 years. If I found somebody better, I would leave my wife. True statement. And my eyes are open and I'm looking all the time, and I have not found a single person that shares my values like my wife does. So we stay together. Okay. And I'm not kidding about that. Marriages go sideways sometimes. And I'm not a believer in the idea that you have to stay in a bad marriage because you made a promise. It's more important to be happy. And don't worry, I'm staying married. I'm plenty happy. I'm not doing this. Anyway, what is Jeff Bezos going to do with his $200 billion? It's virtually unlimited resources, okay? Who cares? It's his money. It's private property. It's not our property. It's his property. That Amazon stock is his property. I don't know why we're having a conversation about it. Warren Buffett hasn't given away any of his money, and yet we love Warren Buffett for some unknown reason. I know, because he wants to raise taxes. That's why we love him, okay? And by the way, nobody knows Bezos's politics, right? We don't know if he's a Democrat. We don't know if he's a Republican. He bought the Washington Post. Washington Post is pretty far left. Paid $250 million for the Washington Post. And does he believe in what they write? He actually, I don't know why he bought him, because he doesn't interfere with what goes on at the Washington Post at all. In fact, it caused him a lot of heartache when Trump was president, because the Post was going after Trump nonstop, and then Trump got pissed at Bezos and was talking about antitrust law. I still don't know why he bought the Washington Post. People say that Jeff Bezos is more of a libertarian. Who knows? We don't know what he is, You know what I should do? I should look and see how the Washington Post covered the rocket launch, right? Did they write any negative articles about their boss, Jeff Bezos? I bet they were pretty quiet about it. So I don't know Bezos. I've never met him. And I also don't know anybody who knows him. So I'm pretty connected with the 6 degrees of separation. I know people who know a lot of people. I know people that know Bill Gates, okay? And Bill Gates does not have a great reputation. It's kind of a bad guy. So I don't know if Bezos is a good guy, a bad guy. I have no idea, okay? Jeff Bezos is where he is today because he solved a very complicated math problem. It's called operations research. It was like the biggest unconstrained operations research problem of all time. And whoever gets to solve this problem gets to have $200 billion. And by the way, this is the amazing part. He's been running that company since 96 when it went public. He never sold any stock. I mean, he sold a little bit in dribs and drabs, but he never sold half his stock. I mean, he gave away $10 billion for climate change, and he lost a bunch in the divorce. But the only stock that he sold is to pay for Blue Origin, and that's it. So he solved the $200 billion problem, which is how to make retail more efficient than brick and mortar retail. And throw in streaming and movies and cloud cams and Fire phones and Fire sticks and everything else. I mean, the math behind all this pricing is very, very complicated. They have some very smart people at Amazon. So I pay, $12 a month for Amazon Prime? So I have Amazon Prime, and I'm like, I'm picking them off. Like, I can't believe what a deal this is. I get free 2-day shipping. I get movies. I get all this stuff. Like, I'm picking them off. But the reality is, he's picking me off. Okay. They're making money off of me. And I'm not even one of these Amazon power users. Some people order stuff every day. I order about once a week, and it's usually random stuff. Anyway, good for Jeff Bezos. I'm glad this makes him happy. I have no desire to go to space because I have motion sickness problems. I would do something a little more terrestrial with that money, but whatever floats his boat. I'm Jared Dillian. This is The Jared Dillian Show.
The Jared Dillian Show.